Amigos get a lot of emails. Lot of emails. Because I'm trying to prepare people for a down market, which may or may not come. We don't know. I think not to assume that. I think to assume one is not going to come is foolhardy. So don't do that. Don't assume nothing and make an ass out of you and me, baby. Anyway, so a lot of you all are saying, "Well, Josh, am I going to be okay?" And I look at their portfolios like, dude, you got Wellington fund, and this is okay. That's what I'm here for, my friends. I'm here to get the fear out, to kick the fear out. But when we're looking at the S&P 500, you cannot then turn around and extrapolate that to mean Wellington, or never mind, Wellesley. Don't forget, S&P 500, is 100% stocks. The bulk is in growth stocks because S&P 500 is a momentum and trend active market share, a market cap. All right, so it's basically following momentum and trends, which is why it makes it such a great portfolio on the up and a horrible portfolio on the down, because it follows the things that become bigger in terms of price, become a bigger proportion of the S&P 500. It's called market cap, market weighted. And so as Apple takes off, as Tesla takes off, the S&P 500 takes off with it. But that also means as Apple takes off and Tesla takes off, when those two stocks turn, the S&P 500 could turn as well, or will turn as well, to the extent that Apple and Tesla, and whatever the big companies are today. Wellington isn't like that. All right, so just let's go back to 2000. Wellington was up. 2001, Wellington was up. 2002, Wellington was down. 2000, S&P 500 was down 9. 2001, S&P 500 was down 12. And 2002, S&P 500 was down 22%. Wellington didn't get anywhere near that. 2008, S&P 500 was down 37%. 2008, Wellington was down 22%. From October 2007 to March 9th of 2009, S&P 500 was down 54%. Wellington was down 37%. All right? I don't know what Wellington did from the 30 days of chaos last year of the Valentine's Day massacre. I don't know what the I know S&P 500 did. It was about 35% down. I don't know what Wellington did during the same time. Anyway, point being is, I can't stress this enough of why I love Wellington. Now, will that same thing happen? I have no clue. But because Wellington's heavy on the value stocks, so it's underperformed relative to growth stocks for basically the last 10 years, Wellington has some bonds in there as well. And bonds, rightly or wrongly, they do give you that cushion. I mean, do I like bonds in particular? No. I certainly like bonds in a down market, though, because we know for a fact, as long as the issuer of said bonds continues to pay their coupon, you'll get your interest back. And as long as the bond issuer doesn't go bankrupt, you're not going bankrupt. You'll get your money back. Now, again, it depends on what you paid for the bond, but Wellington's doing all that. So I just don't get, and that's what I tell the guy today, a good guy. I said, I think you're overanalyzing this, my friend. I say you're way too, you're viewing the S&P 500 as if that's you, and it's not him. I said, he's got Wellington all over the place. You know what I'm saying? So he said, well, yeah. I said, look, if you want to move a little bit more to cash, I'm absolutely fine with that. If you've got some cash, you got Wellington. That's basically your ultimate 3-bucket portfolio. Cash, Wellington. Because Wellington's 30%, 35% is bonds, 65% is stocks. It's literally the best not literally. It's a fantastic 3-bucket portfolio. Cash and Wellington, done and done. But if you have cash to cover a couple years' expenses, and see, the issue is just not having debt, man. I can't stress this enough. If you don't have debt, it just covers all your bases. But let's just say, his wife had $300,000, and she was getting ready to roll to Wellington. I said, look, if it alleviates the concern, that's fine. Put $150,000 in cash, absolutely. $150,000 cash. Everything else they got in Wellington, the numbers that I was showing you in other videos that say the S&P 500, that's just not attributable to you. It's not. So don't get too nervous about Wellington vis-a-vis S&P 500. I was talking to a guy just yesterday. He had everything in the Qs. That's like, whoa. I was like, dude, killing me, man, killing me. So that's even more. That's like the growth side of the S&P 500. So not only is it not just the S&P 500, not only is it not the S&P 500, it's actually the growth side of the S&P 500. And I was like, yeah. So at least get cash and VTI for him, man. Again, I don't make these transactions. I don't tell you what you should do. I just say this is what makes sense to me. But you got to do you. I don't make transactions. I don't manage people's money. I'm just like, ugh. I'm always looking at it from the worst case perspective. If you I got smoked in the Qs in 2000. I'll tell you that right now. Writing index covered calls against the Qs on a down. That's why I don't do covered calls anymore, because my experiences was painful. Kind of like touching a freaking hot plate. Painful. Never do it again. So anyway, this guy's like, he's the exact opposite. I said, dude, you got too much in Qs. Let's diversify. Anyway, so don't get so caught up in the S&P 500. Which is all stocks versus what your portfolio has. Fidelity Balanced Fund, the T Rowe, I don't know what the T Rowe price, I don't know. But Equity Income Fund, I suppose. Actually, don't hold me accountable for that. I just can't remember what the T Rowe price Equity Income Fund is right now. But in terms of its composition, stocks and bonds, I don't know. But don't get too caught up in like, oh my goodness, I got a portfolio. Josh says the S&P 500 got smoked, thus I'm going to get smoked. You can't extrapolate that data set. You just got to look at your own individual characteristics. And Wellesley is, I was telling this guy, there's nothing else to do. I mean, you got cash, you got Wellesley, you have very limited expenses. What else could you possibly do? Yeah, you can put it on cash. I don't think you should, but you can. I was talking to a lady the other day down in Alabama, and she's fantastic, love her to death, but she's like, dude, I'm just nervous. I said, it's okay. Put it on the freaking stable value if you want for a year while you're getting ready to retire. I got no qualm with that. I got no qualm with that at all. None. Doesn't make you a bad person. It just means you could be missing out a little bit on the upside, but who cares? If that's what it takes to lay your head down peacefully on your pillow, doesn't mean like you have to be like that for the rest of your life either. But if you're just concerned for the next year or two, right when you came to retiring, by all means, just put it all into your stable value fund. We're not tied to that forever. All right, we'll see ya.